So the meeting is called to order at 3:15.
Okay, and I will move that we accept the minutes. I thought they were fine.
I second.
Okay, all aye? Aye,
I'm sorry.
I guess that's just two of us, huh?
So minutes are approved.
Okay.
I asked Jillian to join us here at the start of the meeting to give us a couple of minutes of discussion as far as what we're looking at jumping into as far as publicity for the room and keeping the community apprised of what we're doing in terms of the work. So Jillian, you had some great ideas when we were talking earlier. Why don't you jump right in as far as what you think would be work best?
Okay.
As far as letting everybody know what we're doing.
Yeah, and Melissa and I have talked a lot about how we'd like to, in the space, promote the Stroh reading room, that like having a poster board out front would be really nice. So I think that that's mainly why Melissa has been really interested in getting a accurate rendering, because when the space is going to be an utter disaster, it'd be nice for people to say, well, there's a light on the horizon, and so having a poster board with information on what people can expect would be really great outside of the space. Part of also reaching out for the foundation, it would be nice to have a social media presence. So having an online presence even. So I know that Melissa in the past has talked about wanting to have e-blasts and that kind of thing, depending on what the foundation looks like at that point. But as far as the reading room goes, right now we have 2 sampled chairs. We've got a bunch of carpet samples and fixtures and stuff like that. And we recently just installed 2 computer desks by the original entrance, or what's now the emergency exit. And so it might be nice to give patrons an update on what's happening in the building now. And just to say, hey, look, you know what? We got these 2 computer desks. What are they doing here? They're here because we got a donation from the Palatine Library District to put 2 new to us computer desks for our desktop spaces. They're going to be moved temporarily or permanently, however we want to phrase that, and to the emergency exit in anticipation for the Stroh reading room. And so it's just a great way to spin things in a positive light. Just leaving patrons in the dark doesn't really help. And so there's kind of a lot going on in the building right now, even though there isn't. So it might be nice to just kind of drum up some interest for the Stroh reading room by kind of showing the process a little bit.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, sort of like an excuse our dust or excuse our race sort of a thing. And I almost picture just an ongoing post, because things will be changing. I also think maybe you and Martha could put your heads together and let's stop calling it the former exit or the former entrance. Can we call that the computer nook or the something catchy, so that corner of the building now has a name instead of
that sounds great.
Exit.
You're right. That's a good idea. And something else that I had mentioned to Eric in my email today was it might be fun to strum up some interest by getting patron interactions. So something that you can do is giving patrons 2 options to pick between and ask them what their favorite is. And the idea is that you would hopefully go with what their favorite is, but I know that you essentially go with your top interest. So right now it wouldn't work because everything is such in flux, but maybe when you get further down the line and closer to the actual renovation, you can kind of engage patrons in what their interests are for the style of the room. It can even be I guess you guys are going with gas, aren't you? I was gonna say if it was an electric fireplace, you could say, what's better? Green light, blue light, red light. It can be something as simple and easy as that. It doesn't have to be anything too severe as far as like fixings on the wall, that kind of thing. So it's just a nice way to get people involved with the space and what's happening.
Yeah, and I don't know if Eric has, if this has come up in the meeting or Eric has shared this with you, but I know Melissa was hoping for an accurate rendering,
Yeah.
well done, of what the room is going to look like. And through all the correspondence that's been happening, Joe Huberty, who's the partner over at Enberg Anderson, that will be their donation to our project. So
Oh, great.
when all the decisions are made, and we want to make sure they're all basically made as far as fireplaces and walls and this and that and everything else, they will provide us with a rendering, which is still just a facsimile, but pretty accurate as to what we'll be looking at. And it'll be very professionally done, and we'll be able to reproduce that. So that's another, donation that we want to make public, that they've been
Exactly.
very supportive. But let Melissa know that, because she wants it done well. I totally agree, and they've been very helpful as far as this. So that's a good thing.
But yeah, especially highlighting the fact that it's donated, it
Yes.
gives them good publicity. Then you can link to their company on social media or
Perfect.
list their
Yeah.
website. It's just good PR.
Yeah, and we need to have a, an angels or whatever you want to call it, list of people who've made this room possible, people and organizations. So
Mhm.
we'll want to be sure that we catalog that carefully.
That's a great idea. Jillian, you said it was Palatine Library, right?
Correct. I think they call it Palatine Library District.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the interim, if we could get something up, something simple up that just said, work in progress, we're creating a new space here. That might be nice. We can get the nice glossy picture up there that's going to show the beautiful room as it's going to be, and that'll be our goal as far as what we want to have up. But I think with as much samples as we're getting in there, it might be nice to let people know as well, we're working on something. We're not just piling things in a corner.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
Well,
a
and
big
if
jump room.
and if there's a point where the desktops are out of commission for a week, that's a good opportunity to highlight the laptops that we have access to. Hey, by the way, the desktops are down this week because we're moving them, but by the way, we've still got computer access.
Are
This
there
sounds
any
really-
crazy people out there like me who still prefer a desktop?
Yes, we've got lots of patrons that prefer desktops.
That's why we haven't eliminated them completely.
Yeah.
So what is it that you prefer about the desktop?
Probably just about everything except its portability. But no, I just, I like a bigger more traditional keyboard. I like a bigger screen. And I just never seem to get the figure of dragging with my fingers on the little touchpad. And
See, well, Janie, with our laptops, you can borrow an actual keyboard and a mouse. And you know what? The screen is 13 inches to 14 inches? So it's quite big.
Jillian, I need to do that and get used to it.
No, we're saying we have options.
We
to
have
make you feel more co-
accommodations.
Yeah,
We have
to make
options
the
to
laptop
accommodate these learning deficiencies.
It's just what you're used to.
preferences.
Yeah.
Well,
One nice thing about the desktops is if you're in there researching something, right now I can't bring my laptop, and you don't have wireless printing. So from the desktops, it's just all seamless and it gets done really fast. So that's why I would use them.
Our
that's-
laptops do have the same printing capabilities.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, sorry. Our the library's Hi. Sorry. Yeah.
There's a Katie here.
No, our laptops. Our library laptops have the same printing setup that our desktops do. So that's all exactly the
But
same.
if I bring mine in if I'm working at, I can't do it on mine. So I guess.
We're investigating options to hopefully make that a possibility.
Okay, that'd be great. That'd be great.
I know sometimes I'm sitting here at my computer desk and Rick will send something to the printer that's literally right next to me from someplace else in the house, so it'll kick on, and first couple times I did that, I just about jumped out of my chair. I'm getting used to it. Okay, so that sounds really good, Jillian.
Okay.
And I love that you're talking to Melissa about this too, and two great minds out there brainstorming. So that's good. Is there anything else you have to tell us about publicizing?
Not at the moment. I should touch base with Melissa and find out how she would like me to proceed, because I was at a webinar today, and it would be good to have additional social media presence, but at the same time, it can also not be. So I just need to talk to her about the accounts that we already have access to. So,
Jillian, are they doing anything about putting in anything into the local press, the Pioneer Press or the whatever that comes over the internet?
well, we read the press release, didn't we send it?
No, we didn't. We just put it in our newsletter. That was all I was directed to do.
Got it. So that would be a Melissa question.
Oh.
And because we do have the press release ready and ready to send out. Cal, there is an issue though. Once we lost the leader, we lost a lot of local press engagement. So Pioneer Press actually, Pioneer Press owns the Lake Forester, and even though it's technically local, they tend to focus more on like North Shore more than they do actually Lake Forest.
Plus, if you get the Tribune, you don't see anything in
No.
Lake Forester that you haven't already seen in the Trib. So
Exactly. Yeah. So there's not a lot of local engagement as far as press once we lost the leader. So I can talk to Melissa and find out what she'd like to do, and we can get that press release out.
And what about the internet thing? I think it's called Patch.
The patch, yes, we do have access to that. I think Martha was looking into changing our membership with that.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of the workflow on this, Jillian, that this is probably a project that falls more under the library and the construction project than the capital campaign. So definitely keep Melissa looped in, but I think it probably makes the most sense for you to be the one taking the lead on what we need to get done.
Okay, I just want to make sure that the message is consistent with, I don't know how she sees it moving forward. That's more of what I meant. I wouldn't necessarily want to put something out that she's like, well, that's not the direction I meant us to go in.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, she will be a great and essential resource for letting us know and making certain that we're not inadvertently phrasing things in a way that might be a red flag for a potential donor or something like that. So we absolutely want to keep her looped in. I'm just thinking in terms of Melissa's time is really valuable. So we're trying to kind of keep her really focused in on some core responsibilities to maximize what we have her for.
Okay.
And all the decisions and timetable and ups and downs of the project will really be directed from the B&G committee. I think that's accurate, Janie and Eric, because every time there's a hiccup, it comes back down to this level. Right. And Melissa's not part of that. So rather than misspeak, I mean, Eric's your best conduit as far as what's happening here. So.
Well, Katie and Martha can keep me updated with changes that are coming in and out of the building, as stuff kind of happens, I can kind of be aware about it and kind of keep an eye out for things and start sharing to the public what's going on.
We might want to set up a certain day of the week for an update sort of thing. So you're not forever chasing information and trying to, everybody else will have a lot of work to do in the meantime. So we'll try to set up a schedule for that.
Good idea.
Makes sense.
Sounds good.
Okay, Jillian, as always, amazing work, and thank you for everything you do.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks, Joanne.
So we'll let you get back to, I know you've got some other things that have come up here this afternoon that you need to get to, so we'll let you jump back in on those.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
I think they're frozen.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm amazingly, I'm not the one that's frozen.
So Eric, where are we here? Where are we now?
No. We're to discussion of costs,
go.
right?
There we go. So we're up to discussion of costs. And I am going to jump in here and paraphrase some conversations that I've had with Cal and with Kathy since the last meeting to kind of get us started and hopefully save, keep us efficient in terms of what we're doing in the conversation. So my understanding in the conversations I have had one-on-one, we very much want to try and get the fixtures in the room. And those would be, in addition to the fireplace, the glass door, the drywall, and the casework by the fireplace. Cal, does that accurately represent?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Are you talking about the sliding door or the swinging door?
Not
Sliding.
this one, the sliding door, all glass, no wood.
Okay.
And Kathy, you and I had talked a bit as well. I think that was about where we had gone as well in terms of our discussion. Does that sound right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So that being the case, I want to, in terms of including those items, give our staff members and give Janie a chance to jump in here as well, because really focusing in on making certain that we get those fixtures leaves the furnishings as the item that we have a little bit of wiggle room on. And I am going to go ahead here and bring up a spreadsheet that I created. It is basically Sean and Jason's numbers, but they're rearranged in a way that I think makes a little bit more sense for us in terms of how things break out.
Eric, can you enlarge that, please?
Absolutely. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, is that
that
okay
is
for you? Okay.
So basically the way that I have this broken out is all of the fixtures, furniture related to construction for just the Stroh room broken out in this top area. Total cost for just that is the $81,149. They have us listed for a $10,000 contingency. That adds to $91,000. Then we look at adding in the additional project that we're doing that we have a donation for, which is the lettering. That takes us up to the 93. And then we have the separate box here where the fees are broken out for the project construction manager and for the architectural and engineering fees. So
Eric, I have
it's
a question.
Go on.
In this, in the top part there, have you included cost of the furniture
yes,
or not? Okay, where is that?
here. Josh,
Oh, okay,
That one.
okay.
there, I'll make it green.
There you go.
Furniture. So, you know, obviously, one thing to look at would be if you do that, then provided we don't have contingency, too significant a contingency overrun, digging into this total here, then that would bring us pretty close to the funds currently available. So.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the right time or not, so let me know, but I have some rather strong ideas about the furnishing.
Okay, before you jump in on the strong ideas about the furnishings, I am going to give Janie and our 2 staff members here a chance to weigh in. Since I think we're at this point weighing priorities and what we want most to be certain that we get into this space right away. I do want to highlight, since I think it's something that we haven't always made super explicit, but I do think that we also should be clear that for things particularly like the furniture, we very much have the opportunity to come circle back,
Yes.
and follow up and do additions to the room later
Yes.
that will improve the finish.
Yes.
Eric, before we go on, can you lift
Yep.
the screen? I can't see I can't see anything below contingencies. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, it's,
Oh, so you can't get everything out on one screen?
not without making it really tiny.
Okay, then don't. Let me just, so.
I can
total-
try here. Let me, no, that's
Total
new.
with contingency is 91, and then the fees total 22. I'll just jot this down. Fees total 22,666. Okay, go ahead. Go back. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, Janie,
Yes. Okay, I'm just trying to take notes here. I completely and totally agree with wanting the fireplace, the 2 walls drywall, the casework cabinets. The only big thing I was willing to compromise on was the sliding glass door, instead of going with that, doing a glass insert wood swing door. But I agree with you, Cal. I think that would absolutely look the best, having the glass sliding door. And it's also the best solution to the situation, in that it doesn't take up any extra floor space. So I'm glad to hear that others agree with me on that, because I'm looking at this and thinking, oh, I don't really want to give any of that up. I am wondering, when you said that we would hopefully not have any contingency fee used. I guess I look at the contingency fee through rainbow colored glasses, because I think, oh, that means that it could go down by that much too. That's probably unlikely, am I right?
but not impossible.
Okay.
Probably not something to hang our hat on.
Not exactly. I was wondering, line 13, the flooring. What is that?
I would have to ask, because it's definitely not the carpeting.
Yeah,
That was definitely removed.
So I recall it as something to do with prepping, the drywall and the casing would come down on the current flooring. So I don't know if they take that up, so it's on, I don't know what the flooring is, if it's subfloor or concrete. I think it has something to do with the prepping of
okay.
And it also had something to do with adjusting. It seemed to me that what he was saying was, once they put the drywall in, they may have to trim the carpet a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
That makes sense.
And that's what that $500 is. I think that $500 is excessive, but I'm not going to argue with it. But
Yeah, I was just realizing once again that these are carpet tiles. We're not talking about that strip of wood with the nail sticking up out of it that's laid down around a room and the stretching, where, so it's a lot easier to trim, but still it's somebody's time and, getting down in the corners with a knife and stuff like that. So Okay, that makes complete sense, because we certainly don't want to put any kind of trim pieces over the carpeting and then have that destroyed when we, when we do redo carpeting on the whole first floor.
Right.
But yeah, I totally think that furniture, I think we can get away with a lot less than $10,000 for furniture. And just at the meeting Tuesday night, there were another couple of ideas that came up. So that might just give me an excuse to start popping into upscale resale a little more often. Because you never know what comes in places like that. You just never know. And I know we don't want it to look like a garage sale. So I will, keep that in mind too, but
You're right. We don't want it to look like a garage sale. On the other hand, I certainly don't want it to look like the examples of the furniture they gave us.
well, yeah. I'll tell you, Cal, I read, you and I have read each other's comments, that little table that you can use to swing around as a desk, it's very, very sturdy, but because of that, it's very, very difficult to move. So I can understand, usually tables like that are a little bit rickety. So there's got to be something else we can do, but once again, that's what we want to do, is make decisions on the permanent stuff and get that going. And it'll be a while before we put any furniture in there anyway. That can be kind of on the back burner, as I would think that things like painting those two walls, once they're drywalled and taped and sanded, is going to be down the road a little bit too. So making a decision to get the actual construction started, I think is key here.
Agreed. Okay.
Eric,
You
you mentioned something also about if you can scroll down to the bottom of this document here, you said the grand total, and then we take out a few things like the furniture is the biggie. You said that's close to the funds we have available. I have not heard what funds we actually have available.
We have received or committed $70,000.
Okay.
That is the $50,000 from mega donor Cal Stroh.
Thank you, Cal, again.
You're welcome.
A $5,000 donation specifically for the interior dimensional letters on the main floor, but which it's my understanding the donor is okay with the overrun being applied to the larger project as well. And then the $15,000 for the fireplace, that is the commitment from the Friends.
Great.
So,
great.
and then, there is, and I've talked with Kathy about this. The library had initially approved, picking up the two charges from SMC and from Engberg Anderson. And I think we were expecting both of those to be in the neighborhood of $8,000 a piece and $16,000 total was where we had been thinking when the library looked at those. This is obviously more than that. That's a conversation that does need to happen.
With whom?
With the library board, with the full
Okay.
board, to make sure that they are apprised and aware of what those additional charges would be, and that appropriate financial planning is happening to account for those costs and ensure that those costs can and will be covered if the board is going to continue to do that. You know, obviously, anytime you've got an expense like that that comes up, you've got to do that. That's just
Right.
being responsible.
Right.
So that's a
I'm
discussion.
sorry, Eric, can
I
you
don't
say
have
what the
any.
numbers are again? You said that I remember talking about this, but did we approve 15K? Was that what it was?
It was two different contracts, and
Oh,
there was some
8?
variability as to how they were going to calculate out based off of what the size of the project would be,
Gotcha.
because there's some multipliers in there like this 6.75%.
Right.
So
So was it $8,000 for each of two different,
that's my
fees
recollection.
for a total of 16?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
put approximate, and those numbers were not part of the they were sort of an estimate for the contract. What did not
Yeah.
specify $7,000 or $8,000 per company.
Okay, gotcha.
It was an estimated value. So we were taken by surprise when it had gotten up to 22.6.
Yeah. So I think for the library, it will still be eminently doable. And I think most likely the library board will be fine with that. But again, it needs to be that conversation. The numbers need to be worked and the conversation needs to be had. So I will, you know, of course, keep everybody apprised with that. And Janie and Kathy, you'll have the chance to be there. So you'll
Yeah,
get a sneak preview.
Yeah, and Eric, I think it's fair to say that the foundation has to have a conversation about its resources as well, to see if that,
Yes.
we just have to put a lot of heads together. A lot of them are the same heads in different places, but nonetheless, conversations have to happen.
Like, okay, it's time for a foundation meeting. Everybody change your hats.
I don't have to change my hat. I just have to come in.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
Okay.
all right.
I
So
don't want to.
this is sounding doable to me. I'm you know, I'm starting to feel like this is actually going to happen.
Okay. But before we jump into, I think, probably talking about our furnishings here, I want to be sure that we give Martha and Katie a chance to jump in with their thoughts.
Yeah.
So.
Hi. Katie is dealing with a circulation issue. So I guess you can get my thoughts first. I guess like my main concern, I have a lot of concerns with going used the route for furniture. I do think, you know, when we've gotten used furniture from other places, typically we've not done upholstered stuff. For like, it's typically been stuff like, you know, the computer desk that we just got. And I also have some reservations about going to like Costco and stuff. I understand like the initial savings are good, but I do think that long term, there are some costs to doing that need to be considered, whether it's, you know, the fact that we're purchasing furniture that's designed for individual use as opposed to sustained heavy use by the public. Or even just like with consignment and stuff, being able to find stuff that works with the design and colors that we're looking for. So I don't know. And I do think it's also important, like I mentioned at the last meeting, you know, having comfortable chairs, which I did try the chairs in there. I was surprised by how not comfortable they were. But I really think it's important for us to deliver on that, because that is something that patrons will notice. They won't necessarily notice like did a sliding glass door as opposed to a swing door. They will notice if the furniture isn't, you know, up to what they were expecting. So, and I realize too that there are a lot of considerations and we have to figure out how to make something work. But I guess from my perspective, I'm kind of like, well, let's at least try to deliver on furniture that is both new and designed for the space, rather than going to a fallback option, I guess, is kind of where I'm at. Katie?
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
sorry, I only,
would you recommend then prioritizing the furniture over the fixtures that we're discussing?
I don't know if I have a recommendation.
Because
I
if
mainly,
we
like-
focus on getting the new furniture for the space, then we've got to let something else go.
But Eric, I want it all.
As we all do.
We all do. We all do.
You know what,
No.
I could maybe save you a lot of time by saying this. Since my name is gonna be on this room, I want it to be a really nice, inviting, upscale room. So I am not willing to let go of the all glass sliding door. I'm not willing to let go of putting in the drywall because it's going to hide a whole lot of electrical equipment and so on. And I am not going to let go of the beautiful cabinetry on either side of the fireplace. And having said that, I am prepared to fund whatever you need to cover that. Here's what I'm not willing to fund. I can't say I'm not willing to fund new furniture, but I'm definitely not willing to fund the furniture that the designer plunked in that room for us to look at. I think it's cheap looking. I think it's spindly looking, and it's not inviting. Yeah, I will admit it's comfortable to sit in, but it's not comfortable to look at. And since the room is going to have my name on it, I really don't want that furniture.
I am not making an argument for that furniture, Cal.
Okay.
Let me assure you.
You know, I'm willing to go look at stuff that maybe, because we had such a wonderful experience with the furniture in the Spruce room, which we got from some other library. Now, I know that's not upholstered furniture, and upholstered furniture can show wear quicker. But I would be willing to go look at whatever might be available. I also would be willing to think about having the chairs that we already have cleaned and used for, you know, a year or so until we could afford more furniture. What I'm not willing to do is just put in any old new stuff just because it's cheap enough for us to afford. So
Cal, would you be willing to look at a consolidator to see what they have? Because painting everything with the same brush may be a mistake, and it's certainly worth a look to see what they've
yeah,
got.
I would look at what a consolidator, what's a consolidator anyway?
Well, what they do is just a company that, you know, usually has a warehouse, and they just buy furnishings from offices that are downsizing or going out of business. And there's just tons of stuff like that available now because everybody's
Yeah,
working from home.
Yeah, oh,
You know?
absolutely. I would be willing to go look at that.
Well, I could pick you up and drive you. Seriously, I would be happy to do that with whoever
Well,
wants.
that's
I mean,
right.
I think we should at least look at that possibility. And if we don't see anything we like, fine. And I think that's incredibly generous of you to offer to step up in that regards. I don't think any of us anticipated the costs of this being what they've come out to be.
You know, listen, you've given me offer I can't refuse about going to look at this stuff. I would ask also that Kathy would go to look at it too with us.
Yeah, I'm right here. Yeah, I was just listening. We haven't heard from Katie, and I don't want to take her time away from her, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think she just left.
oh, all right.
Did she just get up and
Yeah.
walk away, Martha?
Yes, Katie has another circulation issue.
Okay. Well, when Katie, every time you say that, I think her knees are hurting or something.
Oh, no.
I know that you're talking about books.
Oh.
Okay, so I'll jump in since Katie's not available right now. First of all, frankly, looking at that image of a room with a wooden door and that furniture reminded me of taking my kids to the orthodontist office. I found
Taking
nothing
your kids where?
to the orthodontist office. I found it institutional looking. I found it unattractive. I found it uninviting. I found it not worth the investment of donations and of hard work and of the library's future in any of those decisions. I saw no point in it. So I think the door makes a big dim. It's image only, but it looks fabulous and it looks inviting and it's modern and it's forward thinking. It's important that you invest in sturdy furniture for a library, obviously. But I don't think, to your question, yes, of course I'll go on this excursion. Sounds like great fun, but we are wasting time not making a decision. And the decision is costing money every week because of supply chain issues and because of interest rates and because of inflation. So of course we can go make decisions about furniture, but that's not something to quibble about today. Today we need to get back to our architect and our contractors and say, this is what we can do, this is what we can pay for, let's build it. And what is it? A field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. I have no doubt that if we put something in there that we don't love day one, through donations, through the friends, through other opportunities, through just finding the right product, we will be very pleased in the long run. But in the short term, we need to make decisions and tie down numbers, because they're going to go up every single week. And we'll get to a point where this is not feasible. So I respect all of your opinions, but bricks and mortars say we've got to do this now. And these details we can easily iron out. And right now, I don't know where you are, but I'm looking at like a blizzard in my backyard. So we can't go out driving around anyway. So let's get this built. Let's get a feel for it. Let's walk in there and look around. And then if we see something, I think Matt made a point in our board meeting the other night, and I believe the designer brought it up as well. There are so many places contracting. I guess it was Bonnie that brought it up. There's so many places contracting. I believe there's probably quite a quantity of very good quality, sturdy, attractive, usable materials. So we should certainly pursue that. Maybe in May, June, we've got a room that's looking pretty good to work with. So those are my thoughts. So yes, Cal, I would be delighted to take an excursion with you and Janie. But let's get,
So
drywall up.
I unfortunately have a passport thing coming up here at 4 o'clock that I wasn't able to get rescheduled. So I'm going to need to step away for just a couple minutes at that point. Martha, I sent you the spreadsheet in case that needs to be brought back up while I'm away for just a moment.
Okay.
It sounds like where we're headed right now is that we want to get ourselves decided on the fixtures. We want to get moving on that. And that we want then to continue the discussion on the furniture. It sounds like we're definitely in agreement that we don't like the chairs that were suggested to us by the designer. And I think, and I would recommend that we just tell them that and see if they have further recommendations. It sounds like the feedback on those would be that they were too institutional and not really comfortable.
Yeah, and could I actually just suggest that we just put a hold on the furniture, because we're paying a very high fee to this designer.
I was just going to mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Just her thinking about it and sending us pictures, it's costing us money. So, and we're not thrilled with what we're seeing. So I would
Mhm.
really say, we have to furnish it. We figured it out. We have a substitute plan. We have plenty of time before anybody's going to be sitting in there. So let's put that on hold.
Yeah.
Perhaps there'll be a new line of choices in 2 months. And in the meantime, we'll do some scouting and then we'll make a good decision. But I don't want to pay her to just send us pictures of stuff we don't like.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Anyway, I've
That's a
lost faith
fair point.
because I've lost faith in her because her suggestions are just not very good.
Yeah. And there might even be a decorator in town that has access to, I'm going to call it industry products. I don't know what the word is, library, whatever, a
Mhm.
certain level. And she's able to show us product and catalogs and not charge us for it. I mean, it's just kind of crazy I'm not
Yep.
impressed. And
Something,
Well-
I go way back with Lawrence's. And so I know that, I'm like 95% sure that Jeff would be aboard with us for giving us some feedback, but also his son Jeffrey. He's also in the design business too. And his design business is offices.
well, we've got some doors to knock on. We've got plenty of time, but let's get one thing going and then explore all these possibilities.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, and here, let me do another quick share here. We can to some extent here even, I think of this in terms of, talk to Lawrence and talk to some of these other places. And I think to some extent really just cut out the middleman on this. This is the website for Library Furniture International, which sells a lot of furniture to different libraries in the area here. They're kind of the big vendor for that in the area. So, this is their, some of the lounge chairs that they have available. You can see that they've got kind of a lot of different options that we could take a look at. And, when we've worked with them and we've bought quite a few things from Library Furniture International over the years, they would do for us a lot of the things that Engberg Anderson is doing for us in terms of making available opportunities to test furniture and things like that. So, I think talking directly to some of these sales folks will probably get us closer to what we're looking for, and and without having the person in the middle, it's likely to be cheaper.
This is great, Eric. I already like a bunch of things I see in what you've got.
Yeah, there's quite a few here that are catching my eye, actually, as far as interesting things. And you can see some of them here, like this one, that are actually look kind of similar to the ones that we even had dropped off already. So we already know we hate them. So
take that off the list. I like those.
I particularly like these ones with the attached arm. It's like when you sit down in an auditorium at a college and you pull the arm up and put it down to put your, those things. I think those are great.
Yeah. Oops. Where's my X? It's covered up by the box here. Okay. So I think reach out to Lawrence, reach out to LFI. Why don't we call those our first initial steps? How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. And in the meantime, while we have that conversation, why don't we try and finalize things with the fixtures so that we can get rolling on that. So actually just had in the last 24 hours, another 3 possible tiles that arrived, which are all variations on the cream backing that we had indicated as our preferred option. So honestly, some of them are really, I feel like starting to get kind of into the weeds here as far as fine gradations and minor differences in amount of swirls and coloration. So they're
So
there
there's something new in there since several
Yep.
days ago.
Yep.
Okay.
Most recent one arrived just 2 hours ago.
No, all right. Because
So,
I liked one that we already had in. When was I? Whenever I
Yeah.
was in signing checks, I saw some, I guess that was what, I don't know.
so
Saw some-
what we have now is we have a wall that's lined with about 5 or 6 of them that are all just slightly different from each other.
Yeah, Eric,
I'm-
if we're in agreement, we might want to cut her off and stop. I mean, it's driving me crazy that we're paying this woman and really haven't been too pleased with anything. So, but the tile,
Yeah.
you know, if we have enough to make a selection, let's just put her on halt for the time.
Okay.
You know.
So sounds good. And were we fond enough of the original? Do we want variations on that? Or are we comfortable just saying, let's just go with that one that we had indicated as our preference?
You mean
I-
without looking at the new ones?
The one you're talking about. is the
Do we
one you
wanna
showed us
just-
At the last meeting, you were holding it up in front of the
Yes.
camera, right? Yeah, I
Yes.
thought that one was lovely. I thought that was beautiful. I went in and looked at it, with my own eyes. It looked even better than when you held it
Yeah.
up to the camera.
So yes, that is the question. Do we want to go through having everybody come in and take a look at the new samples that have arrived, or are we comfortable with the one that we'd already indicated as our preference?
I'm for option 2.
I as well.
Cal?
Eric, you looked at the new things. Are they significantly different from what we chose?
Tell you what, let me go grab them.
I thought you had a meeting.
What
You
happened
know,
to you,
they
Bill?
haven't arrived yet, apparently,
Oh,
because
Well, I'm not
It's
surprised.
snowing.
I asked them to give me a ring when they arrived, and nobody's rung me yet. So
okay.
Sometimes it happens. what?
Martha froze again.
Oh,
I think they have arrived because there are 2 scheduled. Katie's
nobody-
helping one.
oh well, Anna's helping one. Anna's scheduled to help one. I'm gonna go grab tiles.
Okay.
Good.
I'll be right back.
But let's actually proceed with Eric's thought, other than tiles. Are we in agreement on a sliding glass door?
Yes,
Are we in agreement on keeping the casework?
yes,
Just another word for the shelving. And are we in agreement on keeping the drywall?
yes.
All right. And I chime in as supportive of all those as well. So those are the 3 building choices we need to make that can allow us to sit
Get
down,
going.
sharpen our pencils, make sure it works, and then let Edinburgh Anderson to get going on an estimate, because we have to lock in estimates.
Yeah.
So that's good. The one thing on the estimate, I think perhaps we could work with, that is the only thing I see, is the painting. Is the painting it's not part of a timetable of trades coming one after another. So we could, try to find someone to give us some estimates on that painting. It's a high ceiling and it's angular, but other than that, it's just I guess it's 3 walls. But anyway, perhaps we can bring it down from 2,000, but that's, there's not a lot in there that I think we can second guess at this point and stay on schedule. Oh, Eric, while you
Okay.
got out, everybody agreed to the 3 building decisions: casework, drywall, and Martha, I didn't hear an agreement from you, but I didn't hear a dissent.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's all good. My main thing is I just don't want to forget about the furniture.
I understand.
We can put it off. I didn't phrase that very well. So,
Good. So as I said, so Eric, we agreed sliding glass door, casework, and drywall. That's agreed upon.
Okay. And I've got, it's not letting me spotlight myself here. Martha, is there an option I'm missing here? I've done this 100 times, but now I'm,
There should be. Try right clicking on yourself and,
yeah,
okay.
I'm used to seeing spotlight and it's not giving it to me. Anyway, so this was the preferred one that we'd indicated.
Okay.
Good old VLOS.
Okay,
So that's our baseline, what we had indicated as our preference.
okay.
So new alternative number,
Oops, there goes Eric. Oh, there he is. That looks kind of
just
murky.
making sure it's clear and centered.
Okay,
Not real different.
Doesn't
no,
look
but I like the first
So
one
was
better.
the alternative on the back. What do you think, Cal?
I like the first one
It's very
better.
modern. It's very modern.
Are these, do you have any idea whether any of these are significantly more or less expensive than the others?
Nope.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're not marked.
That's what I was afraid of.
No, I have no idea. They are,
Well, Janie, one thing
they
that,
all appear to be from the same company.
Okay,
yeah, one thing that Sean told us, that the larger pieces will be far less expensive because there's less cutting and, applying and all
right,
that.
right.
They just put in the one large instead of all the chopping of those little glass ones.
Yeah,
Here's,
Oh, that looks like the first one.
that looks like the first one.
Yeah, I wonder,
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
is it?
it is
Is
not the first one. This is a different one.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah,
Well, they're
I
pretty
told you,
interchangeable
this was-
from what
the-
we're looking at.
These,
Is this one
the new
lighter or
samples-
Is
Um,
this one lighter or darker than the first one?
Here, first one, new one.
I still like the first one better,
Yeah, me too.
but they're
So
awfully
it looks like it's
close.
probably a little
They're awfully
darker.
close. I mean, they look like they could be same, different lots of the same thing almost.
They do. Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
I wonder if they sent it, because Cal had said, we wondered about a shade light, darker than the one we picked. So
Yeah.
I wonder if they just sent this to us as a possibility.
I mean, that's very pretty.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Either one would work.
And ready for
Last but
something
not
different?
least,
Number 3.
This is another one? Or this is
Yep.
the first one all over again?
Nope, nope, see.
This is really funny.
This is the first one.
Here we go.
See, it's much different. Then here's the second. Wow, these are close.
Oh, gosh.
These don't look any different to me.
No,
They
they
don't
don't to
look,
me either.
they don't look more different in person. They really don't.
This one, the one on, that would be on my right. It looks like the striating is maybe a little tiny bit darker.
No, on your left, Eric. Yeah, but that could be, Cal, that could be just a variation in the pieces that
That's
are
right.
there too, because,
Yeah.
they're
A bit
supposed,
more gray in the striations.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're supposed to be variations in them because it's supposed to be mimicking a natural stone.
So this
Yeah.
is a little bit more brown.
That one? Okay.
One in your left hand. Yeah, my feeling would just be to stick with the first one we picked out. We picked out the, what is it, V something 05 or whatever it was.
VLO 5, yeah.
Yeah, VL 05.
Hey, Martha,
Yes,
you're looking at them in the flesh, right?
I was, yes.
Okay, which one do you think is better?
They all look very similar.
Okay,
And I mean, Jillian did suggest we should poll patrons, so maybe we should just show them those.
we did what?
We should poll
Jill-
the patrons.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no,
Ask
I
her to
mean,
send us a few more of those samples and we'd have enough to do the job.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah, I mean, they're all very similar and they all look pretty nice. I think those are, I like them.
Okay, but now, but Eric said one has more brown in it. And since the brick is brown, is that gonna make a difference or not?
This has a little bit more brown in it, and the other one here. Let's see if I can lay my hands on the right one. Yeah. I'm okay.
Good.
I know what he's
Here.
doing. I was lifting these things when it's kind of a workout.
You're heavy.
So this is the one that has probably the warmest of the bunch in terms of having like a lighter brown. The video feed isn't really capturing the
Martha,
difference.
did you see these
well.
against the brick? And could you see any difference?
For some of them, yes, it's honestly, it's hard for me to tell which one is which.
Yeah.
Or like, as far as like, I'm looking at sample A versus sample B. I mean, I can run over there right now and give you
Yeah,
a more
you can run
informed
around.
opinion.
Yeah, I mean, come. Well, why don't I bring them over to you, Martha?
Okay.
How about that?
Got to take care of that baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One second.
Hope he doesn't drop them on his foot.
No, I
Bad.
just keep pushing my fingers.
So Kathy, assuming we make a decision on this soon, would our directive then be to Eric to go ahead, give him the go ahead on ordering the materials? And I mean, that's the first thing that needs to happen, right?
No, the first thing that needs to happen is we need to get, we don't have firm estimates yet. We have to tell Sean. to
Oh,
give
so we
them to-
still have to
Jeremy,
say, this
whatever
is
his
what
name
we
is,
want,
yeah.
tell us how much it's gonna be. Gotcha.
That's what concerns me is every week the
This is
price
the-
is probably going up. So,
Yeah.
Once
yeah.
we lock into what our plan is, based on all these meetings, then they're gonna, and there was an email this week from Sean, and then Joe got involved, which I'm glad, because he's the senior
Yes.
partner there.
Yeah,
And everybody's stressing, let's try to wrap this up.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
we
I
need to
agree.
do that.
We
This is
need
the
to do that.
original one.
And I
Okay.
was glad Joe is much more expeditious. So he wrapped up a few things and he made the donation of the rendering. I mean, he clearly would like to see this get going.
Yeah.
And they sent us,
Here. Panorama.
Oh, they can't.
most recent time, Janie, was like mid-May. So if we want to keep anywhere close to that, we got to make some plans.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Oh my.
I think your camera's better than mine.
Okay, well, the lighting is different too.
Is it capturing this one?
Oh my God.
This is the original.
Okay. These are definitely more brown.
Yeah,
This is gray.
yeah.
The brown ones look warmer to me.
They are a bit warmer.
I think they might go better with the brick, or am I wrong about that?
No, honestly, Cal, the two lighter brown ones kind of do feel a little bit warmer and friendlier to me. So I think I'm probably with you there.
Okay. Hey, Martha,
Yes.
ask the baby, and if he gives a good kiss, we'll know which one.
Yeah, there you go. Future paper.
Yeah,
I-
I would be happy. I would be happy with either of those. So
I'm leaning to the ones that have a little more brown in them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I
Martha,
think
what do you
kind
think?
of either one of them, Eric, there, let us
That's
see.
better.
I can't see the whole of
There we go.
that.
they're very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, but all I can see is Kathy.
All you can see is me.
And I want
You
to
don't
see,
look like her.
I want to see the two brown ones.
These are the two brown ones.
I kind of like the
Okay.
one on the right.
Your right or
My right.
this one?
Yes.
That one. Okay. Yeah, this is the definitely has the warmest of the two.
Can we see the whole one, the one that Kathy picked out? Let me see the whole thing. Because
This one?
part of it is hiding behind it. Okay, there you go. Now let me see the other one, the whole thing.
This one?
The other brown one.
Okay.
They're virtually indistinguishable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they're
think.
very similar.
Yeah, right. I think either one.
One is a little darker in person, I
Yeah.
think.
Over the this one is a little definitely a little bit more, I don't know necessarily darker, but more brown. It's a very
Which
warm brown.
Can I,
Which one?
This one.
can I make one more suggestion that's gonna?
That
drive
was
you
the one
crazy?
on the right that Kathy said she liked. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
I'm not trying to wear you out there, but could you go put these in front of the brick wall in the room?
Oh, yeah.
There's a brick wall in here.
That's what we're supposed to, is there? you have brick-
Don't, but
All right.
Eric's getting his workout today.
You won't have to do his cardio when he gets home.
That's right.
Who said librarians don't walk 10,000 steps?
He
a day?
actually had the brick in his office. You know, I was kind of looking at it.
I was kind of looking, there's one post there. I was trying to gauge
Yeah.
that. There we
Yeah.
go. There we
Yeah,
go.
what happened to that post?
That's his office. The post is in his office.
No, this is the room.
Oh, that's,
Oh, okay, okay.
Ah!
yeah, I kind of like that. The left.
I
One
like
on the
the
left of the
Are those
video
two new,
feed.
are those two new samples or is the one on the right the original sample?
These are the two new samples.
Okay.
So this one.
Okay, Eric, point to the first one.
The first
Put
one.
your- Put your finger on the first one.
This one.
That's the one I would vote for.
Okay, me
Okay.
too. We're in agreement. Yay.
Yeah,
Okay.
looks good.
Yay, we're in agreement. Now set that aside so we don't lose it amidst the others.
Yeah, right. Get the markings
Okay.
off the back so we know what we're
Here,
talking.
I'm gonna hang on to that one. I'll move the others here. Why don't you go sit back down?
okay.
So then we already agreed, I think, on the color for the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there wasn't much debate about that. It was the peacock plume.
Didn't we choose the teal or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was peacock plume or plum was the one.
Yes, it's called, the teal color is called Peacock Plus.
Yeah,
And
okay, yeah.
That's what we chose, right?
Yes. We had a second choice too, for whatever reason. I don't know why, but
Because we don't have enough choices to make.
Okay, I'm
gonna head back to my office.
Okay.
Martha, when is the baby due?
March 30th.
Oh, all right. That's getting
Yeah.
around the corner now.
Oh, Martha, make
Yes.
sure that baby comes on 3:30 because that's my address.
Okay. Okay.
Get right on that.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
you know, our assistant pastor at St. Mary's pointed out that to me. His birthday is 3:30, and he said to
Okay.
me, you know, my birthday is your address.
I mean,
Okay,
I do
what-
think
what
it would
is-
be
What's the
funny to
number
get-
on that one, Eric? On that tile, so I can.
Oh, left it in the staff
You
room.
lose-
Hang on.
Did you lose it already?
I didn't lose it. It's by Martha. Martha has it.
Martha, what's the number on
Martha,
it?
don't lift it. Don't lift it.
I don't see it here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, here it is. I found it.
Don't, I can come get it. I'm just gonna come get it.
BL07, maybe? I'm not sure.
VL07?
Maybe, but I'm also not entirely sure. There's a lot of writing on the back.
Yeah, because the other one was VL05, we
Five,
thought,
yeah.
so,
Okay,
okay.
yeah.
Martha, my address is 23 if you want to move it up a little bit.
I do think it would be funny to go into labor on April Fool's Day, but
Did you read them the number?
is it VL07? Is that the,
Yeah, here, it's this one.
yeah,
It's the VL07 122 4A1PF.
oh, okay. I didn't know there was.
Or A12F,
1PF. P is in Paul.
okay. Okay, I got it.
Okay, I'm keeping this.
Okay.
Who says Zoom meetings can't be fun?
And interactive, my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Eric.
Oh, it's my day. It's my workout. Well, that's not true. It's snowing. That's going to be the workout. Okay. So what other items do we need to decide on? It sounds like we're pretty well decided on the furnace itself. It sounds like that's locked in, but we were discussing the grading, if I remember right. Does that sound
I
right?
thought we had made a decision on that one. It was
Yeah,
the,
We made it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Did we? Okay.
I wrote
Um,
it down. Halston
good.
Arch.
I don't think I have that one
I had,
written down. It was on that brochure that
Yeah.
Sean sent us.
I had thought we'd made a decision, but then I started questioning myself because Sean was sending me catalogs
other
about
stuff.
it and stuff. Yeah.
No, I wish I could remember the name of it, but it was very simple, but it had a curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
It had a rather gentle curve.
Martha has it written down.
I wrote down Halston Arch.
That
That's it.
sounds right. That's right.
Um,
We should verify that, but
And we agreed on black, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yep. And Martha, what was the color?
I just wrote down Halston Arch fireplace.
But we,
No, for the wall, for the
oh,
paint.
it's Peacock Plus.
Plus?
Or
plus,
Okay,
That's what Bonnie has in her minutes.
yeah. And
sounds good.
And
There's
the
sample
second
of that.
choice was, there was a Manto Blue, MANTO.
we didn't like
I-
that. That was sort of like a swimming pool blue from the 50s.
Yeah.
We ruled that out.
I can't imagine that. I
Um,
mean, paints can always be replicated, so I'm sure, even if they've
Okay.
discontinued that one, they can still figure it out. So I think all we
I
need to
think-
do is get the estimates, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully,
So
Get this show on
Yeah.
the road.
I will forward those details to Joe and Sean and Jason and encourage them to get going on the next step in terms of getting numbers together for those. And yeah, that should be good. And I will indicate that we did not hit it off with any of the furnishings. We don't want additional furniture suggestions right now. We've got a couple options that we're exploring.
Yeah.
Yes, good.
Just, I would be clear and say at this time, we'd like to halt the designer involvement until, until a further date, we'll let them know. But I don't want her billing us for looking at slides and waiting for us to call back. Yeah, I would make that clear.
Yeah,
Okay.
Are you okay with it?
That should be fine. I'm always very consensus minded when it comes to things. So, disinvolving someone is always feels a little weird to me, but, I see what you're saying as far as, wanting to be certain that we're controlling costs.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back over it, we're paying her just to sit through these meetings. Then when she chimed in the last 20 minutes or so, we really can't do that right now because
Right.
you can just say
yeah.
you can just say we're making further furnishing decisions. We're putting it on hold, and so we'd like to put her services on hold for the time being.
Yeah,
that sends the message.
I think so.
Yeah, and we don't need any more tile samples or anything like that. Do those have to be sent back, or does somebody come and pick them up, or what happens to those? Do you know?
My understanding is Sean is picking them up. Last time I ended up with all sorts of roofing samples in my office for 6 months.
I remember.
Until eventually, became clear that no one was coming for these things and I wasn't going to be able to send them anywhere. So I just threw them away which felt like a waste, but what was I going to do with, a dozen different, tiny roofing samples?
Yeah.
So.
yeah.
It would be nice to keep the one we chose if we could do that.
Oh yeah, that one's in my office.
Okay.
I'm not letting that out on my site.
Good.
Again. All right.
Okay. So I think we're to the point where, is there any other business that we need to do?
I don't think so.
Okay, so can we well, I guess I can move to adjourn.
I second. It's 4:32. Then I.
Right. Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, real quick, since I was up and running around, I will reach out to LFI. Janie will reach out to Lawrence.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Good meeting.
Yes.
Yeah,
Got a
absolutely.
lot done. Yeah. Everybody, thank you, everybody, for your opinions and your input. So,
Take
All
care.
right.
here,
Take care,
drive-
everybody.
Eric
Travel
and-
safe if you got to be out.
Yeah, drive safely, you guys going home tonight. It's pretty slippery out there.
Yeah.
Be safe. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay.